Valarie Guarnieri is WFP's Deputy Executive Director for Program and Policy Development. She previously also served as WFP Regional Director for East and Central Africa, and also in a variety of country office, regional, and headquarter positions since August 2000. She's notorious for leading the design and deployment of innovative, high-quality programs, including efforts to ensure protection and inclusion, expand school meals, empower women, build resilient food systems, and support cash transfers. And this is just to name a few. Valarie is also a mother of 3 children and inspiration to many women and mothers like myself at WFP for her progressive and charismatic leadership and innovative perspective on the world we operate in. We're so lucky to have you here today and to share with us your actionable advice on innovating at WFP. To all the champions, you will have the chance to ask her any questions at the end of her speech. So please get those questions ready in the chat or raise your hand later, and I will invite you to come to the floor. Valarie, over to you now.
Well, thank you so much, Nina. I feel like I need a theme song or something after that introduction, Notorious or something, but hello, Innovation Champions Community and friends tuning in today. I'm super happy to drop in on what seems to be a very engaging and interactive event and offer a few remarks, and I'm glad I got to hear a little piece of that as I was joining. I hear there was a panel on innovating in emergencies earlier, and you had a chance to listen to your colleagues and peers on the front lines of WFP. And it's so important that you anchor your work and your thinking in that perspective and apply your talents to supporting the organization during emergencies in terms of how we can help people meet their most essential needs, but also how we can be working to reduce those needs. Because with the way needs are skyrocketing, we have to be working on reducing needs. Otherwise, it's like a speeding train that we're never going to catch up on. But I digress. Let's go to why I am here. I wanted to reiterate the high focus I personally place on innovation, collaboration, knowledge sharing, and on enjoying the work you do. I think having a happy workplace, being proud of what we're doing, but also happy to work, to engage with colleagues, to bring solutions to the table is so important. And I'm told these are values that really bind the Innovation Champions community. Innovation is an enabling priority in our new strategic plan, 2022 to 2025, which I spent most of last year working to get through the organization and through our executive board. But it's a enabling priority because we know that business as usual is just not going to get us to zero hunger in 2030. And with new solutions and new methodologies, we can unlock amazing potential and solve some of the deeply rooted problems that we're trying to address. So consider this full permission, not that you need it, but full permission to innovate, to introduce new ideas and activities, and to work together to move us closer to our goal. You know, the futurist Jim Daytor said that any useful idea about the future should appear to be ridiculous. And I love this because it captures the need to think outside the box in our work. So go ahead, innovate, and even seize opportunities to be ridiculous and then to turn the ridiculous into the practical. And by innovation, I don't just mean flashy products and buzzwords, though these can be good when they're useful, but I'm more interested in the innovative mindset, that problem-solving mindset that you all possess, and applying that to whatever area of WFP work that you're in the 125 duty stations that I'm told that you're based out of. Now, the good news is that WFP has many of the needed structures in place to support everyone in identifying and accelerating solutions to reach zero hunger and WFP's other commitments. And for one, this community, it's now in place. You're already connected to some 460 plus or minus like-minded disruptors, causing all sorts of good trouble in the organization. So use the community as a first point of validation for your ideas and projects. Get some early feedback and refine your concepts to ensure that they are adaptable and contextualizable in the places where we work. Grow your skill set and take advantage of the learning opportunities provided here also in WFP. We have our Innovation and Knowledge Management Division that's been conceived to make available that support structure, both to come up with those innovative ideas, but also to put them into action and to take them to scale. And we can grow that however useful. And our innovation footprint is delivering. This year alone, the Innovation Accelerator, the highly prized and awarded accelerator, through the innovations it supports that many of you are working on, it's set to reach 15 million direct beneficiaries, just over 10% of our total forecast. So you're already pushing the envelope for what and how much WFP can deliver, and we're counting on that to do more, because the needs remain incredibly high. Even if we get the resources that we are seeking to reach, we will still only be reaching less than half of the 345 million people who face acute hunger, let alone the 811 million people who are chronically hungry. And that global burden of malnutrition remains enormous as well. And we need to position ourselves to do more and to do better for the people who we serve. So expanding our ability to save lives and change lives and partnerships, to do this sustainably and at little additional cost, because we have to stretch the resources that we have, that's a big riddle to solve, and one that innovation needs to help us to do. So thank you for your work, and full encouragement for you to continue to do that. Another reason I accepted the invitation to join this event and just check in with all of you is a little bit more personal. I've been at WFP a long time now, 22 years, but I still remember what it was like when I first joined. I was mid-career in work that I'd been doing in the US government, and I came into the World Food Program relatively young and navigating an organization that felt like a big bureaucracy that I needed to understand, and a big riddle that I needed to solve, and frustrating moments of being a staff member in a big organization, eager to see change materialize. I had those moments, and it was important for me to find my allies and my collaborators who I could work with so that I could help get the job done. And I mean, I have to say that as you move up in the organization, as I've had the good fortune to do, it doesn't get really much easier. I mean, in some ways, it gets even more complex. But even though some days are difficult, it's absolutely worth staying the course and persevering. Our mission is worth it. The people who we serve are worth it. And standing on the other side of something that you've achieved at this organization is totally worth it. And I've had the good opportunity to do that over my career. Good change takes time. And as champions for innovation, it's your job to accelerate that clock wherever you can. And you need to find the allies along the way to bring along with you in this journey, so that we can get there in a better way, in a stronger way, and a faster way. So, like they say in US politics, reach across the aisle to other teams and other divisions. Be curious, be open to listening and learning from others, building on their experience, and be equally open to sharing your ideas and seeing others build on and change those ideas in practice. So yeah, with that, I just want to thank you for your passion, your dedication to WFP, and for putting your talents to work for the people we serve. Thanks, and I can stay around for about 5 minutes of Q&A. I mean, I think our business is a risk-taking business, and we come into the sphere with both the determination that that's required for us to do that, but I don't know, also maybe even a bit of we're kind of adrenaline junkies. I mean, we get a bit of a charge from taking on those risks. So, I mean, I feel like I've done that both in my professional and my personal life. My professional life has taken me on the front lines, starting my career in Somalia, but also more recently in contexts like South Sudan, like Ethiopia. My professional challenge really drives me to be where our teams need support the most, and where the people who we're working with need support the most. And I think that's a lot the spirit that drives all of us. Taking a chance, not having all the answers, trying something, seeing if it works, learning from that and building on it. And then on the personal life, the risk I've been taking is sort of pulling my family along with me while I pursue this career. I find that that I'm not my 100% or 150%, as we often need ourselves to be in this field, if I don't have them with me. So, you know, they don't always come right on the front lines. Of course, many of those places are non-family duty stations, but I like to keep them close by as possible. And that just involved risks in terms of also making sure that the family was growing and thriving and being able to live and develop their best life. And I've been very fortunate to have chosen wisely, I guess, in my choice of a partner, to have someone who can follow me. And the kids have just grown up super flexible and adaptable as well, which is a real blessing for me. So yeah, I think risks are part and parcel of the work we do, and certainly the people who we're serving are taking risks that far exceed the risks that we are taking and are asking ourselves and our colleagues to take. The work itself is really about WFP engaging with the private sector in a different way. And it's hard to engage with the private sector in that way. I mean, we come to the table where we have different short and long-term objectives. We have different values that we're trying to achieve. At the heart of our work is reaching vulnerable people and improving their food security. At the heart of the private sector work is profit and ensuring that they can make it. But there's areas where our interests converge, and we know that we cannot end hunger without the private sector not just being at the table, but actually leading, spearheading, engaging that effort on behalf of those we're serving. And the private sector also knows that that growing markets requires investing in people. So there's a nice sweet spot. I mean, I like to think of that sort of Venn diagram, very simple, but, you know, of the place where our interests and the private sector's interest converge. You start there and then you expand that out. And that's what we've been trying to do in the Farm to Market Alliance. It hasn't been easy. Country offices have a real desire, as part of their determination, to control the space in which we're working. And it's hard to do that when you're working with the private sector. And private sector has a tendency to really build on things that are already working and things that fit and feed the markets that they're already serving. And so we have a lot of engagement and support in East Africa to grow more maize, for instance, you know, when we're looking at more nutritious crops and at growing the incomes of the smallholder farmers. So you find that sweet spot and you build out from there. And we are doing it through trial and error, which is why some of the innovation that this community brings to bear is key. So we know in that alliance that we're looking to better connect farmers to markets, to technology, to information, to better inputs and to financing, and those are areas of common interest. And so how do we use innovation to make that happen, to make it sustainable, and to make it work? And I said the term alliance because I think in the end, alliances are so important in everything that we that we do. And alliances actually don't involve just people coming together who want exactly the same thing. The best alliances come when you bring different communities together that have interests that do converge, but that also that diverge, and you find a way to really build out on those points of convergence. So super important, our work with the private sector, and I think Farm to Market Alliance is a great way for us to practice working with the private sector. So yeah, so I'll end with that, and really wish you all the best for not just your workshop and the and your engagement as a community of practice, but also as you really try to, how can I say it, infest WFP with your energy, with your enthusiasm, and with your amazing ideas, basically, and the opportunity to turn those ideas into reality. So have a good rest of your session, and yeah, see you next time.